Do you remember when Jamie Lee Curtis deleted a picture of Palestinian children off of her Instagram when she realized the children were not Israeli? Jamie Lee Curtis would not have had a career if it wasn't for a Muslim Arab man, and his name was Moustapha al Akkad. I'll get into how her being a Nepo baby got her her first major role, but first, let me tell you his story. Al-Akkad was born in 1930 in Aleppo, Syria. He was the oldest of 7 children. His dream growing up was to become a filmmaker in Hollywood. He wrote to UCLA and then was accepted into their theater arts program. He worked for 1 year to earn the money for his 1954 flight from Syria to California, with $200 in his pocket and a copy of the Quran. At UCLA, he founded the Arab American Student Organization before graduating with a degree in theater arts. Then he got his master's in cinema from USC. He founded the Islamic Center of Los Angeles and then formed the company Akkad International, which featured shows that bridged the gap between East and West cultural understanding. His biggest dream was to bring the story of Islam to the West. He's quoted as saying, "It's my duty as a Muslim to tell the truth about Islam to the West." In 1976, his masterpiece was released. As the producer and director, Moustapha was able to make the film without showing Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him's face, which is not allowed in Islam, by showing the scenes from the Prophet's point of view. 28 different cultures and nationalities worked on the film, and it was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Score. His film Lion of the Desert, featuring Anthony Quinn, shows guerrilla resistance in North Africa. It depicts the unfair odds between Palestinians and Israelis.
The confiscated lands must be given back.
Well, now I wouldn't say confiscated lands. I would say lands reserved for settlement and cultivation. Lands to be developed.
To be developed by Italians. I tell you, there is no escape. 20 years, 40 years, the land will be back to its people.
How many days will it take you to arrange the surrender of your men?
We will never surrender. We win or we die. And don't think it stops there. You will have the next generation to fight, and after the next, the next.
The film, for the first time in Hollywood history, showed Muslims as compassionate as heroes instead of terrorists. In 1981, The Lion of the Desert was shown in Damascus, Syria, where 2,000 people jumped to their feet and applauded. But Moustapha al Akkad will best be remembered for the creation of one of the most successful franchises in Hollywood history,
Halloween,
which he produced from 1978 to 2002. It was the most successful independent film ever made at that time. It was made on a budget of $300,000 and generated 7 sequels. John Carpenter was the director, and he wanted Anne Lockhart to play the lead. But screenwriter Deborah Hill convinced him to cast Jamie Lee Curtis, a 19-year-old nobody who at the time was fired from her first job, Operation Petticoat. She's also the daughter of Tony Curtis and Janet Leigh, who was in the movie Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. So Jamie Lee Curtis was not cast for her acting abilities or her looks, but was cast because her parents were famous and because her mom was in this horror film, and that could bring publicity to the Halloween movie. By the way, Jamie Lee Curtis has had her share of controversy the past few years. She's been issuing a lot of apologies. One of them was earlier this year. She has a picture of a naked child stuffed in a suitcase. It's hanging on the wall of her living or dining room. One of her followers noticed it when she was trying to show a picture of her chairs. Jamie Lee Curtis responded saying, "It's nothing more than a picture of a child taken by her mother playing in a tub of water. Mother of that child approved of you hanging a naked photo of her daughter or son on your dining room wall where you eat? If so, why?" Oh, let me guess. Art. Anyway, I digress. Going back to Moustapha al Akkad. Towards the end of his amazing life, his next goal was to make a film about Salahuddin al-Ayyubi, the legendary Muslim warrior who expelled the Crusades from the Middle East. Moustapha was very excited to make this film happen. But in November 2005, tragedy struck. Al Akkad and his 34-year-old daughter Rima were in Amman, Jordan, attending a wedding. They were standing in the lobby of the Grand Hyatt Hotel when a bomb exploded. Rima died instantly, but Moustapha al Akkad died 2 days later. He was 75 years old. He is survived by his sons Tariq, Zaid, and Malik. His works and contributions to cinematic history lives on, and the film Halloween is still enjoyed by millions worldwide to this day. Like and follow for more.